this notion that Trump is trying to save us from what we know as the New World Order. I guess these days people are calling it the deep state. And I've talked about this before, and I'm going to play you a clip from Jared Kushner, Trump's man, his son-in-law, who talked to Bob Woodward. That's the same dude that released the tapes of Trump saying that he wanted to downplay the corona situation. And before I play this audio, know that there's audio of Trump giving Jared permission to talk to Bob and even recommending to Bob that he talk to Kushner. Now, this was released about a month ago.
And so, you look at like the Republican Party platform, it's a document meant to like piss people off basically more, because it's done by activists.
Yeah.
So you have a disproportionality between what issues people are vocal on and what the people, the voters, really care about. And what Trump's been able to do is, I say he's basically did a full hostile takeover of the Republican Party. And I don't think it's even as much about the issues. I think it's about the attitude. The last thing was kind of doing the guidelines, which was interesting. And that, in my mind, was almost like, Trump getting the country back from the doctors, right? In the sense that what he now did was, he's going to own the open up. There were three phases. There was the panic phase, the pain phase, and then the comeback phase. That doesn't mean there's not still a lot of pain, and there won't be pain for a while. But that basically was, we've now put out rules to get back to work. Trump's now back in charge. It's not the doctors. They've kind of, we have like a negotiated settlement.
The man said Trump wanted the lockdown, but he wanted Democrats to take the rap. But he wanted to take credit for the reopening or freeing the people from bondage. Out in the front, like in them same tweets, them tweets he was putting out telling people to liberate their cities from this COVID lockdown. Had militia groups taking over the Capitol building and all that. But in the back room, he wanted the lockdown as well. All this talk about how Democrats are deep state and want to lock us up and Trump is trying to protect us is what people are saying. I've talked about this same thing a few months ago. I've done it a few times, actually, even before the COVID-19 thing. Like when I did the video talking about how people were trying to paint the Democrats as being filled with child rapists. Well, I gave examples of Republicans doing the same thing, but I cut those examples short because I don't think that, I don't think that child rape is something to be played with like that. So I only gave, I think, 2 examples, then cut away into something else because, that issue ain't cool to be using as leverage against the other side. Like, ooh, I bet your side has more rapists in it than mine. No, that ain't cool. I could have gave a lot more examples than I did, but I just wanted to show how ridiculous it is to try to paint one side as being the New World Order deep state side.
You get the motor, you keep your money, and I'll get your baby. Right. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, ribs. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, ribs.
But this next clip is in regards to this panic button that people done hit about how if Biden becomes president, he's going to vaccinate everybody. But keep in mind the clip I played about Trump being the fox guarding the hen house, wanting Democrats to take blame for the lockdown. Just like with the lockdown, the man wanted to take credit for the vaccine. You saw his tweet. Said they purposely didn't release it in time so he can get a vaccine win. One side, the Democrats, been saying vaccinate. The other side, Republicans, is on Darwinism. Let the people catch it and whoever dies, dies. Just so they can come later with the vaccine to still make money. You heard Trump and his Republicans this whole time downplay it, let it play itself out, herd immunity. It'll all be over in the summer because the heat will destroy the virus. Let the virus run its course through the population. Remember all those Darwinistic survival of the fittest statements they was making?
We will work to secure an emergency use authorization, which should be coming down extremely soon. And my administration will then coordinate the distribution of the vaccine, and it will be approved. I think, again, it will be approved very, very quickly, we hope. The average development timeline for the vaccine, including clinical tests and manufacturing, can take 8 to 12 years. Through Operation Warp Speed, we're doing it in less than 1 year. Millions of doses will soon be going out the door. They're all ready, waiting for that final approval. As soon as April, the vaccine will be available to the entire general population.
All that Darwinism Republicans been talking. Meanwhile, in the dark room, they've been co-signing a vaccine that people are blaming on Democrats. Very Diocletian-like, that is. Diocletian was a Roman general. He deployed what we know as the Hegelian dialectic in order to impose an iron fist upon his people. The Hegelian dialectic: problem, reaction, solution. Covertly create a problem, the people panic, then you outwardly come in as the savior of the people. You saw Trump's tweet. After all that let as many die as possible talk, he was in his head thinking that he was going to be the one to come in as the savior. Jared described the three phases as the panic phase, then the pain phase, then the comeback phase. Hegel described those three as problem, reaction, solution. A few months ago, and a few times before that, I told people who've been talking that Trump is going against the New World Order junk. I said, even if that was the case, it ain't, but even if that was the case, I said that don't mean he has good intentions for you if he's successful. But where are the Trump supporters who are against vaccines that was blaming Biden and the Democrats for wanting to give us vaccines to destroy our minds, bodies, and spirits? Where are they at? You know that vaccine is set, they say, to be released in April, after Trump is projected to be out and Biden in. And that's probably when people will start blaming Democrats again, even though Trump and his party are the ones who have the biggest say-so in the matter. Signing it, approving it, firing people, then putting their own virus and disease people in there to work on it. But Biden and the DNC will get the rap for implementing it. And get the rap especially if it goes wrong. That's probably where the Trump supporters at. Wait until April when it's safe to lay sole blame on Democrats.